Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Twitch stream for creating realistic fantasy maps with ArtRage 5. My name is Dan, and it is a pleasure to be here. Today we have something kind of special. I also would like to say we had someone suggest this map, and to that person would like to say gracias, mi amigos, la señora, señorita, bienvenidos. Yo soy hablo español muy poquito. Sí. Gracias. Big shout outs to them. We hope they're with us tonight, and we will be also posting this on YouTube and Facebook for everyone involved. Our YouTube is a high definition stream. Facebook only lets us do 720, but it's still more than enough to show what we're doing. So let's go ahead and get started here today, and I'll kind of explain the fun stuff. Let's move me over to the side here really quick. How's the volume, everybody? Is that okay? All right. We're just going to have me just trundle over here a little bit. Let's get started. We have a very special map that I will be honest with you, I am scared to death to do. This is the big one. This is the granddaddy of all of them that was ever made and ever will be made. We are doing the Lord of the Rings tonight. And we are going to really take a big bite out of it. This map specifically was created by the son of J.R. Tolkien, Christopher Tolkien, and you can find it in the books of The Lord of the Rings and on any other website. We're going to be using a couple features here on ArtRage 5 to help us really get a hold of this map, because we're going to need all the help we can get. First of all, the feature I just brought up is our trace feature. You can load up an image, you can hide it, move it, turn it upside down, do anything you want with it. And also a really awesome tool on this is, let me show you really quick. So I move the caffeine over, move this over here. Hope you guys can, how's the volume? We good? Okay. All right. What this allows me to do is it allows me to control the opacity of the image being traced. And then I can come take a pen, do whatever I want. Increase the opacity, decrease it. Of course, we're not gonna do that to our poor painting. The main key here is we're going to be using ArtRage to simulate natural environment by stacking paint upon paint upon paint. Also, with any of our maps, you can go see some other tutorials. With a specific map, I'm not going to go too in depth because we have a lot to do and we do not have much time to get it done. So let's go ahead and get started here. We're first going to start with our ink pen. We're going to go to our technical pen. In this menu, again, all these settings are default with ArtRage. I'm not using any of my personal ones. Now, we're going to make sure that this is our anti-aliasing is off, because we want this to have really hard lines. And we're just going to dive right in here as quick as possible, and we're going to start our tracing. We're going to drop our opacity here. We're going to go with a black. We're going to make this a lot smaller. Maybe about 8%. Right now, this image is 12 inches, a full foot by 10 inches. And we're also working with 450 dpi. That's a resolution of a poster that you find at the store or somewhere else is a regular 100 dpi. And our images in magazines and such like that, those are in about 300 dpi. We'll come clean that up here in a second. I am going to be moving relatively fast on this map. And again, I remember being third grade and I really got tired of all the little reading things, so I wanted a challenge, and boy, did I ever pick one. I started reading The Hobbit from the suggestion of a librarian. And that is where I saw my first fantasy map, and I started cracking out fantasy maps after I saw that. And then in 5th grade, lo and behold, I found that there were sequels to The Hobbit, and that was called The Lord of the Rings. And I started reading that, and man, for a 5th grader, that is some advanced books. I remember my dad coming in and seeing what I was reading and got really excited. started talking to me about stuff, and of course in my mind I'd pronounced all the characters' names wrong. However, we really bonded with that, and later in life, he went through and reread all the books shortly before he passed away. I'm kind of scrabbling up the coast here really quick. And it became a very important and touching piece of my life. Later, on one of my first dates, me and my wife watched the first Lord of the Rings show, filmed by Peter Jackson. We're just going to move over here. And you can see how important these are to me. Now, because these are important, I really want to do justice to these maps, and also to Christopher Tolkien that drew this specific one. There's been a lot of artists to do Lord of the Rings maps, and I will be honest, I'm intimidated to do that because it has such a strong fan base, and that fan base really wants to make sure that everything is kept consistent. So if you're watching this video on YouTube or on Facebook and I mess something up, let me know in the comments. I will be happy to learn from any critiques you have, anything you have or want me to know. We've had a lot of great interactions so far in the on like the ArtRage sites and also on some forums. We're just going to bust this out. I am taking a lot of time on this. We'll probably take about 10 minutes on the actual shape of this land. Then we'll move into the magic. We'll fill this in and then start plopping down layers upon layers of paint. Again, ArtRage has a wonderful feature where it not only tracks how much paint you put onto this, but where you put it. We'll come back to this. We're going to come back to this right here, this delta, because it's going to get it's going to get crazy, and it's one of the biggest features. And again, we want to hit the details on this hard. This map is actually bigger than our usual maps by almost 100% that we do for an hour. We did that to make sure that we could get all the details, all the mountain shots and everything else in, because again, really well loved property. Now, when you're doing these maps, you have to be really careful. You see how I left a little couple gaps? We'll come back to that. But you're going to save yourself a lot of time and heartache if you hit those and clean those up first. All right, I can come back here. And we're just going to get the rest of this done. I'm going to increase this just a little bit more. Let's go to 10. Because I'm really having to put a lot of pressure on the brush. Oh, that's a lot easier. Woot. Again, with ArtRage, it lets you do a lot of fun stuff. Does everything that another program would do, but a great deal more. Because if I choose an oil brush, it behaves just like an oil brush. You get the same tactile feel from that oil brush. If I was doing an oil brush, I actually was doing a, let's embarrass it. I'll switch to this brush. Come in again at 9%. There we go. Make sure our anti-alias is off. Maybe reduce this a little. There we go. Now, I haven't made any changes or weird settings on these. It's like we just have the two. We just have the two layers. Let's go ahead and use our paint bucket. Now we're going to go into gap fill protection. We're going to make the gap real big, about 10 pixels. We're going to choose a neutral color. Let's go with kind of a dark olive. Once we're done with this, we'll just fill this in. Now again, oh, looks like I messed up something there. Let's go back in and see where I messed up. Oh, it's the deltas. My bad. Let's go back to these deltas. No gap fix software in the world is going to fix that problem. But that's okay, because we like, it's easier for us to make errors and show you how we fix those versus you making errors and being frustrated. So let's go ahead and fix that really quick right here. Again, we're going to rough this land up. Again, a lot of erosion happens down here south of Gondor. There's a big river, and we're just going to come up here. This comes all the way to the towers of Terrace. I'm going to come back over here, make this smooth. We're really getting in there on our let's go ahead and start on these little islands. I'm going to add a little something in here so it actually really looks like a delta and it pops out. Again, we really wanted to nail this detail. Looks like we're actually a little behind. Again, these 1 hour maps, they can be a little scary, especially for me, to make sure I get all of the things in there. We're going to hit some of these land bars right there. We're also going to back out, see if there's anything we missed. Yeah, we got Lake Town up here we need to hit. Again, really, really zoomed in. Almost to the point you can actually see the pixelation, but we wanted that. See how fast, quick, and responsive that is? Oh, we got another, forgot these. This is an important lake. We'll come back to Minas Tirith. We have another delta here. Put the delta here. Let's go ahead and get this one. I'm actually going to come back to this one here in a second, because we really got to start going on here. Let's I'm here. Might as well just take care of it, right, folks? Yeah. Also, if you're joining us in the stream, welcome. Thank you for your support. We'd also like to give a huge shout out to ArtRage. ArtRage is, we're not receiving any money from ArtRage. We are, however, being promoted by ArtRage on all the socials. We're making sure we give them a big call out. Thank you for the product they've made that allows us to do that. Really encourage anyone that's even just a passing interest in art to go check out ArtRage at artrage.com. Well, over at artrage.com. It will blow your mind what you can do on that. Oh, we have one more look up here. Not only do you have all the filters, everything else like that, you have all the abilities that another photo software or another painting tool gives you, and a whole lot more. Again, I put all oil paints on this. They look like oil paints, and they behave exactly like oil paints. All right. We're now going back to our bucket, now that move our settings over here. And again, in neutral, come in with a neutral color. Our gap protection is on. Looks like I missed something else. Oh, our gap protection was not on. I'll just double check down here. Yeah, some issues. That's okay. I'll show you how I deal with these. Yeah, that's probably right there. A little bit of a shaky hand all that time. We're just going to follow the river up, checking everywhere we go, no big breaks. It's a great tool. Okay. Let's go back to our paint bucket. We're going to zip the gap tolerance to 19. Just double checking the water first. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. There we go. Gonna hit that. got done. See that? Okay, our next step on this is we will be going. Oh, gotta turn off the ArtRage sign. There we go. I've had a couple people wishing me good luck. Just noticed on my phone. And now on these rivers, we are just going to take these up. I can do a better job than that. But that gap protection is critical to this. There we go. Now we're doing this a little bit backwards. I usually like to add my rivers and different parts of this, of the map, very last. Okay, and the reason I do that is because I use the rivers as erosion, and I kind of do it naturally. With this map, however, got a little bit of a bridge right there. The Fellowship, well, the Hobbits ran across. They weren't the Fellowship just yet. And another bridge. That's where some ring rice bought it. Put a little. Right, again, this is just going to be my own personal interpretation of a natural texture of Third Earth. Then we have another little river. Gonna come down here. If you're just joining us really quick, welcome, Buevenio. And thank you so much for joining us right now. Okay, we got that river done. And we are just hitting the rest of these rivers as such. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or pleas for mercy, go ahead and put those in the chat. Or leave us a comment if you're watching this on YouTube. We really love to do what our audience likes. Again, this specific map was given to us. This idea was given to us. A wonderful fan asked for this, said please, and was very mannerly, and I couldn't say no to that. So, again, gracias. All right, we are down here. We're double checking on everything else there. Coming here. Coming in here. Just following this river very slowly. So the river goes up near one of the towers. Isengard right there. Where they took the hobbits to Isengard. Trela, trela, trela. And again, we're just focusing right here on this map. Taking our time on these. Not too much time. We get these done in about 5 minutes to hit our timeline. Then we're going to add texture like crazy on this. At a certain point, we're going to get away of this overland map, and we are going to go nuts with the texturing of everything on here. And we'll jump into these other ones. We're just making sure we get the rivers, get everything else done. Fighorn Forest right there. Not a friendly place to works. Okay, we're going to come up here. Let's get these down here. So that leads to Mordor. Got to ignore the bridge there. Come down here. We're going to start really flying on this. Such. Hit these rivers. Mordor, where the shadows lie. Alright, just a couple more rivers, and then we'll get going with the big stuff. Here's the mines of Moria. Lothlorien right there. I'm gonna add little squigglies because I can. I'm gonna come up here and Fanghorn. There we go. Get back out, take a look, come back down. Great River on the east side of the Misty Mountains. Yeah. Island right there. Another little island right there. Coming down here. Coming down here. You guys can hear me okay? I hope you can. We're going to make a little river come down here through Mirkwood. There's the river up to Lonely Mountain, or down to Lonely Mountain, or whatever you want to call that. We have a couple little lakes and rivers going different places here. We're going to come down here to the Iron Hills. It's kind of our big grasslands, and not much is written about these. A little bit in the Silmarillion, but not much in the actual books. We made a mistake. We should have done. There we go. All right, there's our rivers. Okay, we're going to now double check a couple things here. Yeah, we're doing pretty awesome here. Let's go ahead and make sure we get these filled really quick. All right, let's go ahead and lock our layer right here. We're going to go into our layer reference. Oops, I did something wrong there. We are going to go to our layer, going to lock the transparency. We're going to come in with our, this is going to be our big paint pen. This pen's going to allow us to put down a ton of mass. And we're just going to follow the coastlines here. Follow the rivers. Once we got the initial done, we will start. Again, we're just following the rivers here, following the rivers up here. Hit all the major rivers. Again, ArtRage allows us to compile and pile on. Oh, so you missed a, let's go unlock this. Yeah, looks like you missed that right there. It's going to come in and let's get in here and oops. Okay. Just fill these in really quick. Again, this map, I am just a giant ball of nerves. We're going to now turn off our gap tolerance so it fills. See how fast that fills now? Alright, going to come out. We've got everything else. We're good. We're going to go back to our big tube O paint. We're actually going to bring in our transparency, and we are off again like a herd of turtles. We're going to reduce the opacity on that so we kind of see what's happening a little bit better. Again, we're just following kind of willy-nilly at this point. This will give us a little bit of texture, but the whole point of this is just to apply as much paint onto the canvas as possible, since we only got half an hour left to get this done. And oh, we will get this done. Not pushing very hard on this, I'm just getting some mass on there. Now we're going to go to our knife brush. We're going to select our Harsh Chaos. We're going to put this one, this time around, to 500. We're going to go in, actually let's pop this down to 250. I want more control. I don't want to rush on this. We're just going to run our brush all over the picture like this. And we're going to kind of focus on the striations that we made with that paint, that big tuba brush. Break up those lines. The next step after we get this done, after we break up all these lines and add this texture to everything, we're going to come in here with some very fun colors. Kind of decide where everything goes. Actually, we'll do mountains and then we'll do colors. That sounds like a good idea. This is our base layer. Again, it's just like we took a huge tube of paint, squeeze it as hard as we can, and put it all over the place. Also, a really interesting note about Token's map, that he kind of set the style for all cartographers in the fantasy world to emulate. That's really interesting. As I do maps or take commissions from people, 90% of them want a token map. We're almost done with this texture. Now we're going to decide where the mountains go. That's going to be awesome. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to opacity up with our tracing. We're going to grab our tube brush right here. We're going to, let's actually figure out colors really quick. We're going to clear out these samples. Oops. Clear samples. Excuse me. And now we are going to open our reference. This is of New Zealand, ladies and gentlemen. Let's kind of shout out to the makers of ArtRage, and let's kind of get in there, and we're going to choose some colors. And let's go ahead and let's make this a little bit bigger. All right, that's nice. Let's choose some colors. So we take our eyedropper. Oh, we've got to clear out all the samples. There we go. So really dark. Grab that. Gonna grab this green. Gonna grab the green of the forests. Gonna grab this mountain. Come over here to the southern island. Go back to our dropper. We're gonna grab that color. Maybe some lighter tans. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit on this. Nice thing is it has its own controls. Again, not the highest res, but for our purposes for this map, this is exactly what we want. Again, we will change some stuff around, so let's go ahead and kill our reference. Well, let's actually make our reference a little bit smaller. Do that, you click any brush besides the dipper. Come down to the corner if I can capture it. Come on. I'm going to shrink that down. And now we're going to come in with our mountain color. We're going to use this mountain color and our big loop brush. Going to reduce this to about 250. And very quickly, we are going to hit where these mountains are. Now, the defining and shaping of these mountains are way different than what I'm doing here, so please don't freak out. This is going to give me a general idea about where, yeah, I just did Lonely Mountain one go right there. How do you like that? And Mount Doom. We will be making a volcano. That's a Mordor, a little pass right there. Come in and hit the Mountains near Gondor. Sure, Minas Tirith is okay. And again, we're just adding mass right now. We're going to come back and texture this sooner versus later. But we are just adding mass for this next part. Come over here to the Grey Havens. And Ador, however you want to pronounce that. And we will do forests are our very last step we do here. Now these hills and stuff, I'll show you how we're going to do those. We got to get these Iron Mountains. Get everything? Yeah, we got these guys here. They're being sneaky. Yes, they are. All right. So we got our mountains locked out. We're going to go into our harsh chaos brush. Let me show you what this thing can do. I'm going to drop the opacity here. And actually, thinking of it, we can probably grab our harsh chaos brush. And we're just clipping the edges of these mountains. Again, I'm using my mouse so I can control the exact amount of pressure. You can see this harsh chaos has this jitter in it. I believe that only the full version of ArtRage allows you to modify these brushes, and I strongly recommend it is. I literally can take this I could, for a price of like Corel Draw or like Photoshop Suite, I could buy a computer. It's a little mountain right there, so we're gonna kind of track around that a little bit. And you could probably buy your own computer easily and ArtRage twice over. So if you're on a budget or have any interest in practicing art, not only practicing it, but getting your technique in real life down, this program is for you. Again, I don't get any compensation for sales. I love this program. I want to share with everybody, and ArtRage reached out and said, let's help you draw people's attention to your Facebook page and everything else. And that just totally blew me away, and big thank you for them. Again, Luca just got here. What's going on in this stream? Hi, Lucas. Lucas, we are doing a realistic texture fantasy map of Third Earth by J.R.R. Tolkien. Thanks so much for your patience and me answering that call, your message, and welcome to the stream. Really appreciate this. We're using ArtRage 5, and right now we are just getting the base textures of Middle Earth done. Our first process was, of course, lay out the land, cut out the rivers. If you missed anything, we'll post the link on Facebook to the YouTube channel, so you can see exactly how we did this. Again, I'm using my knife brush with the Harsh Chaos with ArtRage 5. And ArtRage 5 allows you to render things as you do it. You don't have to worry about textures that you can turn lighting on or off for the entire canvas. Okay, we're going to come back to our two volcanoes here in a second. Actually, we'll do that right now. So, volcano, we have Mount Doom right there. Just splattered a lot of paint on there. Excuse me, that was a Mount Doom. That's where Smaug lived. We come back in here. Come back to Mount Doom over there. Come over here. We're also using Christopher's Tolkien map as a reference on where everything goes. And that's right there. Now that we got that up, we're going to shrink that back down. We kind of have a feel of where the stratus lives, the topography, and now we're going to go in and start making topography lines, starting with our river areas. With big valleys, we're actually going to take our eraser and we're going to cut in to the rivers here. If you notice, we got a lot of paint. Let's actually move this down to about 50%. Yeah, let's go bigger. 9%. Yeah, that's great, Dan. There we go. And we're just going to cut some of this out here and there. Kind of make some canyon feels. Then once we've done this, we're going to go in and we are going to add all the hills and valleys and everything you can possibly think. We'll go and retexture this. And even now you can see we're starting to get some really cool effects. And again, this is not our final texture. I'm just going in quickly from mouse to brush. We're just following the big streams, just cutting away some stuff there, especially like down there, down here. Then we're going to go in and we're going to texture this. And again, I'm scraping about a good, fourth of, well, not a fourth, but maybe 32nd of an inch of paint off the canvas with the eraser. This is going to allow me to add some additional textures and stuff like that. Let's hit up here. Old Isengard right there. Go down into the coast of Gondor. There we go. Come back here. Let's hit Lonely Mountain here. Do some flat land right there. Maybe the Elf King's Forest and Mirkwood. Okay, cool. Very cool. Okay, let's get in there with our Harsh Chaos brush again. Again, I'm going to use the mouse on this part because I want the texture to be consistent. And I'm going along these rivers, and again, this is a base texture. This is not, we're going to use this as a building block for the rest of the map. And also to get a good idea of where the hills and everything else goes. I'm just taking my mouse, getting out my pen. I use both tools interchangeably quite a bit. I'm just clicking on where we just made those cuts. Here's the fun thing, we got 20 minutes to get this done. And I am not worried. There we go. If you can see, we're already getting quite a bit of detail on these rivers. These other areas, it's just carving a path. Our next step is, see, we're not doing too bad here. Let's come up and finish this. We're going to add the textures to the hills. Well, underlay for the hills, where those are, maybe add some more irrigation channels. See that with ArtRage? We already got all the hills. There's our details in the Grey Havens. So we're hitting this, guys. We're going. All right, let's go ahead and look at where stuff is. We'll do the like Mirkwood and the forest last. We're going to take our glitter brush, go to Easy Dirt, up this to 150. We got some really good hills right here. Going to lower the opacity of that. Going to keep it the same color. Actually, I'm going to make this slightly lighter. And we're just going to spray down where these hills are with that glitter brush. Again, the glitter brush isn't the texture. The glitter brush is adding mass into all of this. We've got the Shire. We need to make sure that's a little bit rough, but not too rough. We got the hills near Agmar, which is not a happy place. Maybe some hills down there. Maybe some more hills. Again, we're just doing our textures. This is where the Fellowship got its butt kicked by the Orkai. Get some there. Alright, let's have a look at that. Alright. Just double check. Oh, yeah, see? That's why I double check. Next step of this is we are going to start adding mass to this for our final texture. Okay, let's do that right now. Going to turn off our opacity right there. We're going to come in with our glitter tool. Going to go squares. Glitter size 25. We're going to come on our Misty Mountains, bump our opacity up again to really focus and get some very high mountains. Let's go a little darker. Drop our opacity. There we go. Nice, even. We are going to get some. We're going to get these Misty Mountains done. And with our glitter brush, we have a very harsh mass of triangles going into this. And all I'm doing right now is I'm just following the outlines of the mountains where they're at. It might be a little hard to see. YouTube only allows us to get 720p. There's Lonely Mountain right there. Iron Hills, where the dwarves live. Again, if you can't see any of the... Sorry, I'm really hurrying. I should just shut up and get this done. If you're having trouble seeing the details, check us out on YouTube at Avant Novis on YouTube. We are recording this in HD at 1020p, and that is allowing us to really take care of those and striations there. Okay, we only got 15 minutes, but the last 15 minutes of this is fast. The reason why it's fast is we spent a lot of time on getting the texture right. When you get the texture right with ArtRage and those layers down correctly, the rest of this just flies by. The forest will literally take us like 3 minutes. How, you ask? Well, I'll show you. With ArtRage and how we're doing this, it's going to show every single bump, blemish, hill, valley, and tree once we're done. And again, I'm just following Christopher's original map, Christopher Token. Get all of them? Yeah, we got all of them. Okay, let's go ahead and drop the opacity. We got those. Now here's the secret. Since ArtRage renders everything in, I'm just going over the mountains again, in real time, it allows us to see exactly what we're doing and how we're doing. I'm adding some more mountains near Mordor because, you know, it's Mordor. You just don't walk in there or anything. The gate's right there. All right. So next step in this, I'm going to kind of recolor everything. Except I'm going to go in with, let's go with a neutral tone. Let's go back with that green. Come down. I'm going to add metallic color into this. And I am going to spray airbrush the entire map. Not with gray, that sucks. And with the metal in there, you can kind of see make sure we can still see. Yeah, there's our hills. It makes everything in the map pop. Okay. So, demonstration. Let's go back and actually color this the colors we want. Up here in the Shire, we're going to go green. And kind of stay away from those hills. We'll get them later. Again, big broad strokes everywhere. These hills in Gondor, kind of greener, then it gets brown. Over here by Lothlorien, Mirkwood is green. Up here in the wastes, it's a little uncomfortable. Iron Hills, Swamplands. Mordor, we're going to come in with this color, and we're going to start basing everything down here. And you'll see what we do next. So we're going to get kind of maybe a tan. Put down this area. No, that's too much. Let's go back to kind of a grayer tan. Sweet. Add sample. Hit this bottom here. Kind of in with a nasty little gray. Hit Mordor here. Maybe a little bit darker. Alright. So the next step here is we're going to retexture the land in its entirety. To do that, I think we need on our hills just a little bit more. We got 15 minutes to do that. We got this. But I will be honest, if I'm not able to do it, I will let you know. And that would be sad. I'd feel bad. Okay, hills there. We're adding our glitter brush, because we're going to come in and blend this all out. Just going to hit the hills, make sure we hit bag end. Just kind of follow where there are listed hills and areas. kind of got a desert here, so let's go ahead and just texture the crap out of this desert. Come back here. We'll add some hills up here in Rohan. Make Mordor just a living pain in the butt. Maybe some more hills down here. Some more texture stuff like that. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's have a look. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our knife brush. We're going to go to Instant Blur. And we're going to reduce the pressure and softness. We're going to start on our mountains. We're just lightly going to do circle movements. And oh my gosh, look, we have mountains. Well, there's Lonely Mountain right there. There's the Iron Mountains. These hills will break up though, so don't worry about that. There's Mount Doom. There's Mordor. There's the southern reaches. The big desert area. Let's see, Gondor. Minas Tirith is right there. And you can see it's giving us a huge effect on mountains. And it hits those lightings and boom. Now let's go ahead and figure out what we're doing with these mountains. Let's go ahead and go into, let's see, Tiny Frost. Put this about, I don't know, 100, let's go 150. We're just going to rough stuff up, undo the pressure. We're very lightly going to come in here, and these hills we are going to rough up. See that? Got a feeling these hills are going to be a little more difficult than I thought, but that's okay. Again, a little more texture. A little more texture here. A little more texture down here on these. And we are actually going to come down and also paint this entire area one more time. And again, how we use ArtRage is we go pretty much adding texture upon texture upon texture upon texture. All right, not too shabby. Okay, let's get in there. And we are going to color stuff now. Actually, we're going to shape stuff. I'm almost thinking I bit off more than I can chew, but let's see how we do. So let's bump our, this is our knife, and we're going to give our final texture on these mountains. Okay, those are Grey Havens. Stay away from the middle of them so we get that nice texture. Hit that, come to the Agmar right up here. Nasty place to visit. Werewolves, Dark Lords that rebel and go from underling to terrors. Come all the way down, hit Isengard. You see that brush, and then we're going to pull away from the brush into these areas. That brush is giving us the exact details, and we're following kind of some of the forests. I think we can get this. I think we really can get this. It's going to be close. Got 12 minutes to get this done. We come down here, add some of this texture out. Have our mountains there. Kind of hit there. I will also be putting this map, if you want to come see it, up on our website at avantnovis.com. Please check it out. Gonna leave Mount Doom, come back and hit Mount Doom last. Oops, a little too crazy there. Okay, let's check our map. Not too shabby there. Alright, let's hit these textures a little bit better. These hills and areas. And you know, I'm going to jump ahead, and we're actually going to do the forest here real quick so you can see that. Because I think our big push on this map is going to be, we're going to hit the coastline. See that? The other videos on our YouTube account, I go really far into depth explaining exactly what I'm doing. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Let's actually go in and grab our square spots. And let's go back in. I'm not happy with the hills, and I refuse to. We're just going to put square spots there, and there, there, there. We'll come in. There's there. Back in Gondor, we have hills too. Okay, let's get rid of this. We don't need it anymore. See, we got hills there. And we got 10 minutes to do this map. This is exciting. All right, cool. Okay, let's go ahead and recolor. We're going to start down in Mordor. We're going to grab that. Actually, let's do our forests. We're going to add another layer, bring up our opacity level. And I really got to hit this hard. So I'm going to quit talking. You can, of course, see what I'm doing here with the brush. Bring that down. That's all the biggest forests. I'm going to just assume there's some here. Maybe add some here, maybe down here, maybe down right here in Rohan. Just to kind of pretty up things. Granted, they're not on the map, but I'm going to take liberties. Disperse some of these. Put some over here too, just for grunts. Alright, next thing we're going to come with our magic brush. Select the layer beneath it, click on that, so it selects all the white. Hit delete, get rid of, come back to our layer for forests, come back here, select our rivers over on this side of the farm. See, I'm rushing, I'm making mistakes. Shouldn't rush. If I'm not able to get this today, we will come back and hit this, but I think we're going to be fine. Now that we've done that, now we've got everything hollowed out up here. Let's just make sure we're good up here. Yeah, we're good there. We're going to go back to our layer here, lock it down, turn this off, come to this layer. I use purple so you can kind of see where stuff is. We're going to go to our glitter brush, going to find our nice New Zealand green. Did I lock all the trends? No, I did. Hit Control D to get rid of any selections we don't want. And we got forests, which will give us a lot more time for the rest of this map. And they're a little dark. Let's go with a little bit brighter. There yeah, that's good. That's good. We'll keep that. Mirkwood. Get our glitter layer. See how it just pops up there? I really gotta shut up and draw. Get a nice little forest effect. There's Lothlorien. No, this is Lothlorien. I'm not doing that. It's Fanghorn. I'm going to add some forest right here because we can. Add some forest down here. Add some forest right here. Add some forest right here. Okay. There's our forest. Now let's go recolor stuff because there's some things on this map that I really don't like. Let's go ahead and we're going to play with some colors here. The higher grounds, go to our airbrush, zip this down to 250. Going to make our opacity come down by quite a bit, to about 30%. Oh, way too much. We are just gently, we're going to up our, oh yeah, that's why it's too much. I'm going to work on blending these colors together. I'm using just a lighter green, focusing on these high parts. We will be redoing those hill textures. I'm not happy with those hill textures. I was hurrying and I made mistakes. We're also using this brush and we're hitting these rivers to kind of help them stand out. This area, we're going to base this in greens. Come back here. I'm seeing stuff I missed and it's bugging me. Seeing more stuff up here I missed. I panicked. That's okay. So down here, it's getting where we want it to. Just follow the rivers. Follow the rivers. Make these lush and green. Up here in Agmar, we're going to kind of keep that white because that's not a happy place to be. Moving the green into the hills. Got 4 minutes to get this done, guys. I am freaking out right now. Yep, totally freaking out. I have someone that requested this and I don't want to disappoint. Come up here, add some more texture. See how we make our little plateaus. We make a real hand like that. I'm also going to, because I feel like it, not in one of our hour get done things. So I think that, okay, now we're going to come in, we're going to add some yellow to this. Let's use our texture from New Zealand. We're going to line these hills up. If we zoom in tight, you can see all the hills we made. This part we're going to kind of take our time on. Actually, that hill was way too much. So we're just going to kind of follow these contours. We're going to take this color and put it in the mountains a little bit. Help the mountains pop. And then we'll white cap the mountains here the next 3 minutes. Just quickly blend stuff together. 2 minutes left. You guys think we can do those hills in a minute? We're gonna find out. Can even up the paint over here. Alright, we got a minute. Let's hit those hills. It's getting there. It's not my best work, but it's definitely, we're getting there. If I fail well. However, if I'm not able to do this in like 30 seconds, I will remain on and get this done. Technically, I don't like excuses, so I'm not going to give any. Again, right there in the Shire. Come back with our, we're going to go hard wet blend, 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 9 o'clock. It has been 1 hour. And I will be honest, I am not done with this map. However, let's have a look at what we got done in an hour. Not too bad. We can do better. We will do better. Again, it's 9 o'clock, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to breathe. We've technically failed horribly in our task to get Middle Earth painted. Oh, woe is me. That's okay. Now I'm going to take my time and get the rest of this done. Let's go ahead and look at Middle Earth. Alright. So, that's what we did in an hour. Got the details on here. There's texturing and color we need to do. And I'm going to do that right now because you deserve it, even though I failed. Yeah, get the failure music on. Okay. For these hills, to make them better hills, we're going to go, well, not like that. We're going to go back to our overlay map. And we're going to cut away on them like this. Just little tiny things. Over here in Bag End. What I'm doing right now, I'm texturing the land. And giving it rises to everything in here. Again, even though we didn't succeed, I refuse to leave this map because it's token unfinished. Because he is such a big part of my life. And that wouldn't do him justice. We're still in here. You could say we succeeded, except it is not up to my standards. And my standards I set for what we do here is pretty high. However, we are, again, we're making hills and textures right here. And relaxing and breathing. After the chaos that just happened, we're going to also change our, we're going to go to our canvas settings. It looks like I bit off more than I could chew. That's okay. So we're going to go in and we are going to texture the crap out of this. Our color's not what I want. I'm going to go a little darker. That should be good. Again, we're cutting away. We're cutting away at the ground. We're cutting away at everything else here. I was worried the token. I really thought I could do it. I thought I could technically. Well, no excuses. In an hour, I was not able to make a map that fit my standards for JR or token. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice, and I'm going to come back to this. And again, right now we are just making textures and everything up here. We're bringing the textures down to the sea. We're cutting into all that color and all that paint. We've got a pretty good base here. We're doing erosion lines and giving some more texture into all this. I want to see where Bag End is though. Let's go back to our tracer. Okay, Bag End's right there. So we're just going to go Got some hills here. Hills here. But again, we're refusing to give up. And we're refusing to... I'm refusing not to give our person that requested this a good detailed map. So this dream, instead of being an hour, it's probably going to go maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. But I am going to get this done tonight. And again, we're following, we kind of made a very good base here. It's actually really good. All right, let's come down here. I don't know, maybe this is like the, oh geez, 5th, 6th map we've done. Again, absolutely no prep work, absolutely things like that. And I like it. I like that we failed in the sense that we know our limitations. And now I can relax and actually show you guys the detail that is going on right now. Hold on, I got someone at the door. I'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we were just joined by our business manager, Andrew. He is coming over and he's going to sit here with me. If you have any questions for our business manager and what it's like to work with me, please go ahead and ask him. I'd also like a big shout out to Andrew's family for letting me totally usurp him for the last couple days as we get this business started. Here's the hills that, if I'd probably done the hills a little bit differently, we might have made it in time. But that's okay. It's really hard to do token in an hour. And it's shown us exactly what we can do. And in a way, I'm proud I gave it my best shot, but man, this one was a rough one. But as you can see now, we are slowly texturing in Gondor. In the Pelennor Plains. The Great Gates of Mordor. Mordor. We're not, in this desert area, we're not going to texture that much. We're just going to maybe do a couple of these lines. No, I like, we'll leave Mordor like it is. I kind of like that. Over here, however, we're going to... It's kind of a blah part of the map regardless, so we are going to add... Oh, I missed a forest there too. Oh, my bad. I feel really bad now. Meanwhile, there's token purists screaming at me. That's okay. Again, if you have advice, please share it with me. We're back down here. We're going to kind of follow this strata right here and just kind of make some erosion lines up here. This goes up here like this. Goes up here like that, like that. Lines over here by Agmar, also north of the Lonely Mountain. Actually, there's a couple things. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. I'm gonna try not to have bisecting lines here. Someone gave us that note the other day, and honestly, it's really stuck with me, and I think it's made my paintings and my artwork a lot better. Right now it's 9:11. We're 10 minutes into a map in an hour, which I failed. Right now we're technically at 70 minutes. And again, I start timing when the stream begins and not when the paint hits the map. I want to keep it consistent, and I don't want to give you guys excuses. Okay, then we're coming down into Mirkwood. Now this, we're going to add a bunch of texture into the Lonely Mountains. And we're going to go pretty nuts with that. Is there anything you want to say, Drew?
Not particularly.
All right, I'll not put you on the spot. And there's Isengard, where the hobbits go. Again, we are still continuing this texture. We got really craggy mountains here, so we're going to go in here and just go absolutely crazy nuts. This is where, of course, the great statues and the warning of Gondor warned all the people that they were straying into Mordor. Fun vacation spot, I hear. I would start comparing it to Orwellian topics, but not in this day and age. We're dealing with too much of that kind of crap lately. All right. Yeah, that's one of the things I really enjoy about fantasy maps. We're gonna come up and touch up Mirkwood. Again, once we will post this online. I'm not going to put any spoils in it. Then where you have these planes. Again, all we're doing is we're cutting into that huge amount of backbone, that huge amount of map. We're going to have this guy kind of crackle out here. Let's have it crackle in here. Yeah, get a big plane. But even though we kind of made a map, definitely not up to my standards. More detailed than anything else out there regardless, but I will not settle on a half-painted map for Mr. Token. I think that's insulting and stupid. Alright. Now we're getting there. Now let's come up here. Let's just over in Agmar. Thought Mordor was bad, man. Think of the entirety of Mordor concentrated into the Black Forest of Agmar. That is where, when Morgoth, the really big baddie, was partying around, he put Sauron, excuse me, not Saruman, he comes later. He put Sauron in charge of the werewolves, the vampires, the great worms that inhabited there. And some of the greatest battles in Middle-earth and in Tolkien happened in Agmar. Okay, we got our awesome texture going on here. We got Bag End right over there. We'll come back and destroy the Hobbit's home here with some textures here in a second. All right, we've got a good texture there. Let's go ahead now, and what we're going to do, we're probably going to go to 930 with this, folks. Hate to keep you too long. We're going to go with our instant blur, drop it down about 12%. We're going to use this to highlight these areas we've cut out. And if you notice, the second I touch a brush to them, they become rounded. We can probably get a little bit more. Bring this up to about 150. There we go. See how that makes everything just pop? Can't do too much. But in real time, ArtRage is going to create our shadows. It's like real-time embossing. If I was using another program, I'd have to go set alpha layers, add a dither into it, a bunch of other stuff. I think we're also going to run another load of paint before we get into the really cool, fun stuff here. Because these pastels, I'm not digging. I wonder if, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, I still got some pastels that I'm not digging. So we'll fix those here in a second. Let's go back to our opacity, bring that up. And again, I'm making little swirly motions on my little pad. Little Wacom, or however the heck how do you pronounce the Wacom pads, Drew? Wacom?
I've always heard it Wacom.
Wacom?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll call it Wacom from now on. Waka Waka. Right. Again, we're just doing little swirlies. We're bringing out all the layers and the textures. Actually, the more I think about it, I think what would be a little better, and we're going to get a little bit better effect, is if we texture this now and come back and paint later. Okay, so we're there. We have our outlets, our drainage, and stuff like that. We're going to come and just go over these rivers, go over the big rivers, like down here to the Great Straits of the Dead. And we are going to make sure that everything pops. There we go. Rohan looks cool now. Rohan always looks cool. All right, now we're going to go down into our harsh chaos. We're going to keep this about 100, but we're going to drop the pressure off. We're going to come back. I'm going to use my pen. Let's actually get some more pressure on that. And I'm going to, if you can hear me dab, just dab in the pen like that. And I'm getting this really cool hill effect. Because I'm moving paint, I'm cutting into paint, moving paint around, and I'm pretty much sculpting these little islets all through this. And again, you're going to have to tweak your, if you want to do something like this, make sure you tweak your settings. All the settings, again, I use are directly from, these are directly from ArtRage. You know, let's get rid of this opacity. It's ticking me off. We'll come back to that later. Just make sure we got the mountains. I know there's a forest we need to fix, and we'll do that at the very last. And I'll review. I know when we were doing this, it was really rushed. I want you to know exactly how we do this. Reason why, one of our mission statements and one of our big plans with Avant Novis is that we don't hide how we do stuff from our customers. Because we believe that creation and the creative process should be a shared process. Okay, here's our hills. Remember those hills, guys? Totally were killing us. That's what we're doing right now. Get this really zoom into there. Look, it looks like hills. Yay! There's a bunch of frolicking hobbits. Man, I'm kind of bitter. I am a little disappointed, I'll be honest, but that's okay. But anyways, back to our mission with Avant Novis. We want to give people the tools to create imaginations. We want to test those tools, of course, and make sure they're balanced. And then we want to get them into your hands, and we want to create stuff with you. We don't want to limit your imaginations, because that's no fun to anyone. We are releasing a large set of maps here in the next couple of weeks. Stay tuned for the big announcement. And it's maps like this, but it's maps that we've worked on for, months. They're gigantic maps. They're 36 by 24 inches with a DPI of 450. Means if you were to blow it up to magazine size, you basically have a 5 foot by 4 foot magazine poster. If you were to blow that up on poster size, you could probably blow it up at about 8 feet, if you so choose. We're going to be selling that on Drive-Thru RPG, Nook, iTunes, the whole shooting shebang. And again, right now I'm just running my brush. I'm kind of going a little slow here, a little delicate, and and in the Shire, because the Shire is kind of a chillax place. And we will be recoloring these. Again, as we fail, we learn. we stick with it. Right now it's 9:20. We'll get this done in about 10 minutes. Again, we're using our harsh cast knife brush. We've kind of messed around with the pressure. Here's our gray havens. There's where our hobbits live right there. There's those. Hit those. Hit those. Come in. Hit those. There. Gray havens. Oh! Because the elves went someplace that rocks, not some boring place. All right. Okay. Now can you see all the detail we got in there? We're gonna have to recolor that because the details are too big. What we tried to do. So you get to see me kind of recover this painting. Then we're coming down here. This area of the map of Tolkien's world is where the majority of the men kingdoms were. And at this time, during the Third Age, the great empires had all but Gondor had kind of dwindled. Hey, there's Isengard, where the hobbits get taken. But the man kingdoms were just giant man kingdoms. Again, if the lore is wrong, call me out on it. But be nice. Otherwise, Drew will get you.
You've been warned.
Thank you, sir. But again, we're getting some really good detail in. And this I'm happy with. This I can go to sleep with. That I didn't. Okay, now let's look at some of the detail down here. You can see all the plains. You can see exactly where the Rohirrim kicks some butt. We have our marshes up here. Okay, we're going to really lightly hit this area because we want this area. We're actually going to move. Let's come back with that a little bit. Yeah, let's come in with our mouse and really kind of rough this area up. Again, the mouse allows us to apply direct pressure 100% of the time in a single area at a single time. These are the mountains that the hobbits escaped over, then got ganked by Gollum. And we want to make those really rough. And we're back on our pen. Going up into Rohan, going up near Mirkwood. Again, after the Dark Lord was got his butt knocked off by a sealed door, he fled into Mirkwood. The Hobbit movies show a lot of that. Granted, they're not really that accurate to the books, but frankly, I can't get enough of Peter Jackson. I love his movies. He added some stuff in there. That's fine. It's the best fanfic that has ever been made. Fight me. There we go. Do you see that? See the detail we're starting to get there? We're gonna kind of blend some stuff in here. But yeah, that's great right there. Now we're going to, in these other parts out here, we're going to raise our harsh cast about 250. We're just going to tap these because you know what? Nothing really. These are big lands. According to the books, the great wastes and the really boring places in Middle Earth. I'm sure there's some really exciting things that happen there. I know the dragons were in the north, and that's always fun. Because Tolkien's dragons, holy cow, those guys were metal. None of this little, oh, I got treasure. Well, he did, but man, those things were nasty, especially the great worms. Smaug was considered to not be that big of a dragon. He's a big guy, don't get me wrong. He was a big guy. But he wasn't the big guys. There's a dragon up there in Agmar that claimed many an elf. They say it had the hottest breath. Worse than anything that anyone had ever seen. Okay, we're here in Lake Town. We're gonna kind of move, make this a little fertile. Really dig into that. Up here with the Iron Dwarves, we're gonna go back to our mouse. And you know what? We should go back. Yeah, let's go back to 100. Apply direct pressure. Got about 5 minutes to get this done. able to do this in 5 minutes? Guess what? It'll take another 10 minutes or so until I'm happy with this map. Because we had someone in the comments want this. By gosh, it might not be done in an hour, but by gosh, it's going to be good. You're going to like it. We still have 4 people in the stream with us. Thanks for tagging along, guys. Really appreciate you staying with us. And now we're going to grab our airbrush. We've kind of got a really cool thing going on. It's a little pastel, and I don't like pastels. But there's a time and place for all pastels. Not much, though, I'll be honest. Some 40-year-old wanting to throttle me now. Alright, let's go back to our brush. I'm just going to start little circles with our stylus. Finish this up. Finish down here up. Now the resolution we're working at, we're seeing every single hill, vale, crag, Orc's mama's house that exists in Middle Earth. We're getting there. Okay, let's color some stuff in. Let's go ahead and go into green. We'll go to our New Zealand reference. We're going to grab some colors from that New Zealand reference. Maybe a little lighter. Yeah, that's a good color. We're going to come in with our airbrush. We're going to do rather thick on this because there's some colors in here I'll be honest, I hate. That's a little too dark. Let's go, not that light. Get diabetes from a paint sample. We're just going to come in and we're going to fix on this areas. Fix these hills. Grey Havens are going to be very, technically would be very lush. I don't know why they call them Grey Havens. Oh, we missed a little texture spot right there. And then we are back with our, let's go back to our colors. This side of the Misty Mountain, we're just going to focus on these rivers. Down here in Gondor, we really want to hit those. Then on the rivers, we're going to go dark. We're just going to be flicking. We're going to move our metal in these a little higher. We're just going to be flicking our brush over the rivers to give it kind of a darker. We can actually go a little smaller. Let's go about 150. We're going to start big, but we're going to follow these rivers around. Make them really lush and happy. There. This is really going to bring them out on the map. Also show you another really quick trick on getting rivers. You put a white backing out under them so you can actually see the dang things. Okay, we're going to come to, we're up in Lothlorien now. Actually, that's Fanghorn. My bad. There's Lothlorien right there. What I'm doing right now, you can see my icon. That is Moria. The Balrog lives there. He's kind of a dork. We don't invite him to parties. And on these lower areas that we made, we're just gonna just touch it very lightly. Maybe some of the deep parts are like that, kind of break up these colors. Mirkwood, I'm kind of digging this white here. It makes it look sick. We're gonna come in here. Okay, let's go ahead and grab some. Let's grab some browns here. We're gonna make some oranges, maybe some tans. Now we're going to come over here, and on top of these, we're going to kind of draw our metallics down to about 20%. And we're just going to lightly touch these these hill areas like this. That's really going to break things up for us. Right in there, right back there. The music has ended. I only had about an hour and hour 15 music, and with the pre-show. We got all these hills. See the detail we've already gotten off this? Now all we need to do is not screw that up and not do it a disservice. Then near the mountains we're going to add. We're going to add some. We're going to go over the mountains and add some color and get in some pop. Just like that. very organic. It's one of the good things. And yes, I am touting ArtRage. But there's a good reason for that. Again, went in with my knife brush to kind of fill that in. Going to just very highlight Isengard there. Saruman. The biggest snowflake ever to crash. Let's have a look at that. Oh, you see? We're doing pretty good. Let's come down here. Let's come down here. And actually, as I'm looking at this map, I want to add some bigger details. The reference for these forests, they're cool. We got these squares that were kind of hosed us over. We're going to go fix down here really quick. Rough it up. Actually, we're going to... Maybe these are giant swamps over here in Mordor. Yeah, that place sucks. Alright. Going back here. And we're actually putting some more green up here. These areas. Then we're going to go back to that tan we're using. And line things up just like that. Oops, too much tan. Alright, then we're back here. And up here we're going to really kind of bring a... Then we're back here and we are just adding some yellow into that. Separating the hills. You know, let's go up here. We're going to add some more texture up here because this isn't working for me. We'll add a lot of texture right here. Then we're going to come really big in our brushes and this is why Christopher Token put all these things in. Oh, thank you, Lucas. I will have a look at that. Let's have a look here. Let's see what you did, sir. We'll just bring that. Lucas, thank you so much. Spent too much time on hills. Don't finish it now or don't finish. Thank you, sir. I needed that, and I appreciate that so much. Lucas, where are you from, sir? If you don't mind sharing. Glad you stuck with us, Lucas. I hope there's something here that you can definitely take with you. Alright, let's go back to our brush. Illinois and Indiana. Big hello to Indiana and Illinois. Well, thank you for dropping by. Thank you for watching stuff. Would it be okay if I took that picture and put it either on my Facebook page with your permission and credit? If you're okay with that. But again, I really needed that. I was gonna spent too much time on those dang hills. Okay, there. That makes it a lot more interesting. I'm gonna kind of break up this area too. Got a lot of metallic in those hills. I don't know if I like it too much. See, there we go. Again, it's the Shire. If anybody cares, there's Hobbiton. It looks like we missed another forest. Let's go. No, forest is right there. But we're gonna add some hills. All right. There we go. There we go. Then we're gonna come down with this. There we go. Let's So we got Hobbiton right down in there. And you can see kind of the detail we're hitting with this. All right, let's keep going here. So up in these areas on this map, we're going to add some more forests. Not too bad, not too bad. I think we can, before we add the forest, we can do just a little more coloring down here. These mountains are like white. I'm going to darken these, the mountains down here. Maybe these areas too. The higher you go on maps like this, the higher you go on a mountain, the darker it is. Then we're just going to go over Mordor a bunch of times because, you know, that place sucks. We're going to hit over here in Gondor. Pull all this color in. And again, we're just layering and layering on color. We got a pretty fun transition of color here. Oh, a little texture I missed right there. Unacceptable. We're back over here. Just going to blend this in a little bit. You know, let's not do that. Bad Nama. All right. So that ain't too bad. We're getting there. We're getting there. And now we're going to here. We're going to retexture a little thing here, going with a instant blur at 150. We're just not too much. Way too much. Pressure down. 150. Lucas gave us another picture. Please be appropriate. Well done, Lucas. What do you do, Lucas? And if you're cool, we are filming this for YouTube. I hope that's okay. And if you're not, I will just edit out those parts. Harsh Chaos, going back. Come in here and just get the shower all shiny. There we go. Just gotta break stuff up. Now we're going to go in with a smaller brush. Getting the details here, the details here. Break up the coastline. Let's go about 150. I'm going to turn this pressure to up the fall off. Back off the fall off. That's how we're going to get our really big details. There we go. And we're going to go in and we're just going to blend the texture. Alright, not too bad. Not too bad. We're going to fix some stuff here. Not 100% happy with this map, but we are going to get it done. And we will be back, and I'm going to try this sucker again. Let's go and add... Let's go and add some green here. See if we can take this metallic down a little. I think that's what's getting me. Things are too shiny. Yeah, that helped. That really helped. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I can look that. That's nice. Just come in here and do the same thing over here and make it wet. Again, this is just texture. This is a lot of color, a lot of open space. If you ever want to see something cool, and if you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, go look up Christopher Tolkien maps. That's J.R. Tolkien's son. Alright, I'm liking that. Let's just fix up here. There's some shenanigans going on up here. There we go. Now for mountains, we are going to run another, and we'll end this soon. I will walk away in defeat. Oh, go ahead. Righto there, sir. Good for you. Well, I needed you tonight, Lucas. I really needed you tonight. You've made my night. You've helped me get over this horrible defeat that happened. Let's go ahead and hit these iron hills a little bit better. When we add the dark, it really pops things up. There we go. Down here with the Gandhari Mountains. Hit these. Hit these. Hit the Mordor Mountains. Now we're going to go in and we are going to bring our brush down to about 20. We're going to go full nuclear white. We're going to come down and we're going to add some snow on these mountains. Let's up the opacity. We're just going to add, we're just going to follow these ridge lines. This is going to give us the big definitions of the mountains. Again, there's Moria right there. The Great Northern Passes. Gandalf was trying to take them through so they could go meet up the eagles. Gandalf dead, no eagles. Ha ha! And by that time, everybody was separated, and there's no way in heck they're going to get eagles to go through Mordor. Of course, the eagles didn't listen to Gandalf. Was like a pseudo angel. Come down here. Come down here. We're just going to hit these like it's a giant plateau. Come down here. Oh, we're back in Isengard. Put a lot of white in here so it looks scary. Come down here to the Gandhari Mountains. We're reaching 9:42. We've almost got an hour. We're doing pretty good with this. I'm probably going to stop the stream. I'd like to thank everyone for coming here in a few minutes. We have had a crazy night. There's Minith. And we're just going to hit the top of the mountains over Mordor. Not going to touch Mount Doom because, you know, volcano and all. There we go. Hey, and let's hit, let me show you guys how I do forests at the end of this. First of all, we're going to unlock the layer. We're going to go over to our brush. We're going to choose a alpha channel here, an alpha brush. We're going to make sure that there is no shadow with it. We're going to make it a really garish, horrible color that should turn the heads of anyone. And in these areas, we're just going to add really light amounts of forests to kind of break up everything here. Just following the river lines and stuff like that. It's not on Christopher's map, but that's okay. Not too much of it. Now, the reason I'm doing such a garish color is because we're going to come back down here. And I really want to know where these are before I start painting these crazy things. Again, bag end's right there, so we're going to make some forests. Let's go ahead and up the opacity. See if there's, yeah, we kind of missed some forest there. Let's keep that as tall as we can. And we will go and add those really quick. Add some there. Oh, we got some forest right here we didn't get. And then we're over here. There's Elrond's hangout. And we're going to, let's really take this up. Yeah, we need Mirkwood's looking like the elves went all kinds of ham on it. Cut it down. Yay! Then I'm going to come down here. Just really fill this in. Now, forests in the world really don't behave like this. They're not always this. They kind of don't do this. They kind of don't do this like Tolkien did. They're more of outspaced, and we'll do something like that. Again, little sticks of forest everywhere, little things like that. And over here at the swamps, the Gollum International swamps. Put some in, maybe some down here, maybe some down here. Alright, now that we've gotten that, let's go ahead and drop our opacity. And it looks like the plague is in Middle Earth. we're going to add just a couple more. Following this detail lines. We're going to go over to the Misty Mountains, and we're going to say, hey, no, not right there, because that's where Moria is. Can't be doing that kind of crap. But we will add some down here. Again, some more in these natural lines. Retail. Lucas, if you want to see us succeeding, go check out our YouTube channel. It's just Avant Novis. You can actually see what we're capable of. And we're just gonna there. Okay, so I've added all these little layer brushes here in the map. And to create the forest, we're going to lock those. We're going to choose our happy green from, actually let's come down here, eyedropper, and we want that color. We're going to get our pixels out, pressure up, glitter size up, change this to about 250. And now the fun part, grabbing the mouse, and here we go. Oh, look, forests. That fast. Because what we're doing, we're just adding a metric ton of paint. Now that's kind of a darker forest. That's okay. These little scrub brushes that we've got down here, we're just going to highlight. Make sure not all of them look the same, because that'd be awkward. But we've gone ahead and gotten these done. There's the old. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Mirkwood, we're going to make darker because, you know, spiders. Over here, over there. All right. Not too shabby, and we can always put our overlay in there a little bit. So that's what they did. That's what we did. Not too bad. Granted, that took us double the time, because I'm gonna just clean some stuff up over here, because token is awesome. Dang it, someone wanted token, and I'm not gonna back down from a challenge, even though it resulted in a fiery act of failure and doom. That's okay.
Mount Doom.
Mount Doom, yes, thank you. We stuck our head in Mount Doom and we came out burnt. At least the hearts of man didn't fail us this time, right? At least we stuck to it. And actually, it's not too bad. We're going to come in and fill out some hills and stuff like that. You know what? Why not? We're already over time, right? Yeah, plan. I'm just going to hit. Oh, nope. Bad things have happened. Just going to warm these little hills and stuff up. These wilderness areas that the hobbits ran through. We're just going to touch the hills and all the areas. Bag End right there. Oh, where's Bag End? Yeah, Bag End's right here. So we'll make the hills. You know what? Let's make that area really green. Happy. See? We have happy hobbits right there and right there. We're going to really work on the Shire because, dang it, they got despoiled and no one was happy after that. So in our map, they haven't been despoiled yet. Go Peter Jackson. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our map we did in 1 hour and 49 minutes. I'm going to continue working on posts, something I can be proud of. Thank you so much for coming by. We really appreciate you guys coming in. Again, we'd like to give a huge shout out to ArtRage for helping promote this series. And we'd like to thank you guys very much for coming in. We'd like to thank you for your time. And Lucas, you are the man. Appreciate it. Look for us on youtube.com. Excuse me, YouTube at Avant Novis. Also check out our website at www.avantnovis.com. We have maps, we have resources, we have map markers, we have game announcements. Go check that out. Download some map markers for yourself. Also, check out ArtRage.com for this program. And next time, we're going to nail this. I promise. Thanks, and have a great night.